Hello, everyone. You're listening to Cinema 5000. My name is Mallory. Only 3 films on this episode. It's just a quickie episode. I just haven't had a lot of time to watch a lot of movies, but that's okay. I'm going to a film festival this weekend. I'm going to see a bunch of films there. I'm also going to have the chance to see Sinners and The Shrouds. So a lot more will be coming soon. I just want to tell you what I saw recently to get these out of the way so we can have the new episode be chock full of mostly festival talk. But we're at 5,769 films, and we're going to start with our first film, The Ugly Stepsister from 2025, directed by Emily Christine Blichfeld. No tagline for this one. This is a Shudder IFC release, and I know this is going to be coming to Shudder soon. But first, digital release, and if you're lucky to see it, it might still be in theaters, but this is one of those movies that, unfortunately, with these releases, like maybe only gets 1 or 2 showings a day in the theaters it's showing at. And I already know it's out the way from my theater, but I got to see it on the Friday night and I was the only person in the theater. So glad I saw it though, because I had a good time. The summary is, in a fairy tale kingdom where beauty is a brutal business, Elvira battles to compete with her incredibly beautiful stepsister, and she will go to any length to catch the prince's eye. And this is very much a tale of Cinderella, retold in a way that sort of wants to, hint at things about the patriarchy where women have like no choices, but this is women with no agency because ultimately the prince having a ball because he wants to get married, the security that is offered through the prince is very desirable. So Agnes, who is more or less our Cinderella in this story, is this beautiful maiden, and she has a stepsister, Elvira, as well as a stepsister named Alma. Alma's not old enough yet to go to the ball, but Elvira is definitely of age. And Elvira, now Agnes is the stepdaughter of Elvira's mother, of course, from the story, because Agnes's father has passed away. How can Elvira get ready for the ball? Because she is indeed the ugly stepsister. Well, the mother puts her through all these terrible procedures, things that we these days might call plastic surgery, and other things to augment her body, change her appearance, and make her seemingly perfect for the prince and desirable. Is this prince even somebody that Elvira wants to associate with? Well, I don't know. I'm not going to spoil this one, but I just want to say that I had a good time with this. It's like an update of Cinderella, as I said, but with like more horror leanings, a little bit of gore, slight fantasy leanings. It was a fun time. I was hoping this would be fairly entertaining. The trailer looked good, and I was like a little hesitant though, because I just think sometimes these Shudder IFC movies are just not for me. But I found this to be a very imaginative film in the way it wants to tell this tale. Had a lot of good ideas, a lot of like thought out ideas like present within the film, where it seems like, there was intent with why this story is being told and how. And a lot of the things Elvira goes through are, yes, horrifying, but there's also like some dark comedy humor to it, and I liked that. This was on the wavelength for me. It was successful. I am looking forward to seeing what Emily Kristen Blichfeld does next, and this does have commentary about like the things that women do to really serve men in some ways, and it's really unfortunate stuff. And the stepmother rather, also she has to do things too to make sure that these girls are taken care of, and it's got that sadness to it, but it's also overwhelmingly a film that wants to entertain you with this nastiness, and I dug it. So The Ugly Stepsister from 2025, directed by Emily Christine Blichfeld. I enjoyed it, gave it 3 stars. I even wrote about it a little bit on the cinema5000.com blog. Though I will say now that I've sat with the movie even more, there's even more things I know about the film and have thought about the film and the way that femininity is portrayed and the patriarchy. Yes, the patriarchy. Not to say this is like an outright, definitely feminist text film. It's nothing like that. It's more so a horror film that wants to have commentary on things that we can all relate to. And if you've seen The Substance, it's kind of in line with that, I want to say. Just more like, let's have fun with this kind of film, but also have those little things here and there that are, obvious. It doesn't matter if they're obvious. I don't expect movies like this to really be a bit more, I don't want to say academic, but that's my thought of like a word, if you know what I mean. It's not going for that, it's not like trying to litter all those things in here. It's trying to make you have a good time and also shock you a little bit, but also give you just a little bit to think about too, about the experiences that women have. And this is 100% also a movie that is fully aware of the story of Cinderella and its origins and the things that, if you've seen Disney Cinderella, no. Go back and read a little bit about old Cinderella that you might have forgot about from when you were a child. Just how quote unquote grim things are for women. But yeah, it's a good film. The Ugly Stepsister. I think it's on digital soon. I'm not sure when. I want to say maybe tomorrow, Friday, the 25th, if not the week after. It's coming soon, and I think you should check it out. I was fairly entertained by it, and I had a good time. Up next, we have Armand from 2024, directed by Halfdan Ullman-Tondel. The tagline is, "I can understand this is not easy to hear." Armand, a 6-year-old boy, is accused of crossing boundaries against his best friend at elementary school. While no one knows what exactly happened between these two boys, the incident triggers a series of events, forcing parents and school staff into a captivating battle of redemption where madness, desire, and obsession arise. I wasn't really a fan of this one. It had a lot of pieces moving as far as, the madness, desire, and obsession, but it feels like this sort of type of European film that's kind of been made a couple times, where there's like this stressful situation happening and people have to kind of react and figure things out. And it's like a dramatic emphasis that I think can work, but I'm not sure if it worked quite well here. Renat Reinsev leads the cast of administrators and the parents that are involved, and it's okay. I think this was just not really for me. I don't think this is a bad movie by any means, but as a thriller and dramatic piece, it just kind of didn't really give me any huge surprises. There are maybe touches of things I wouldn't expect, but also the conclusions and things it kind of is telling is familiar and on a obvious kind of plane of relation. The movie Doubt, if you're familiar with Doubt, it's kind of like that, but also trying to be a little quirky too. I don't know what else to say because I don't want to spoil it, but the movie essentially just starts out with meetings and talking about this incident, and then Renat Reinsev's character, Elizabeth, she's just kind of well, children don't say those words. Children are not, truthful and blah, 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 and it kind of spirals from there. And also, maybe parents aren't like that. Maybe teachers aren't like that. It's weird. It's like a court. It's like a courtroom without being in a courtroom. It's, school stuff. It's all right. I would say watch this if you like something like Anatomy of a Fall. Maybe. I heard someone else compare it to The Teacher's Lounge, and I haven't seen that movie, so I can't really say, but I also am aware of what that movie's about, so it kind of doesn't surprise me. I don't know. Armand from 2024, directed by Halfdan Ullman-Tondel. I gave this 2.5 stars. This did win the Camera d'Or Prize at the Cannes Film Festival, and yeah, it looks good. It's all right. This is a movie I think, okay, I've said this before, but this is destined to be on Canopy, and people discover it and they watch it and they're like, oh, that's all right. I don't know. Yeah, well, let's move on. Another movie kind of in that vein as well, but not exactly. It's A Walk on the Moon from 1999, directed by Tony Goldwyn. The tagline is, "It was the summer of Woodstock when she became a woman she always wanted to be." Who's that about? The world of a young housewife turned upside down when she has an affair with a free-spirited blouse salesman. This stars Diane Lane as the free-spirited... well, not the free-spirited woman. She's a housewife. She's named Pearl. She's married to Liev Schreiber, who's playing Marty. And they spend their summers at this kind of campground, small cabin place in New York, and it's upstate. It's not too far from Woodstock, New York. Blouse salesman Viggo Mortensen Walker. Well, he's really into Diane Lane's character, Pearl, a lot, and he gets along with her. And I think parallel to this, the story of Pearl's daughter, Allison, who's played by Anna Paquin, and her coming of age. it's like, that's a good setup for a movie. This woman exploring herself through this man and the daughter, coming of age in like the summer of love. Like, cool, not bad at all. I just think this movie is missing something. It's missing some heft. It's missing some severity. Maybe a little bit of just, I don't want to say commentary, but like inner voice. Because it all kinds of seems a bit typical. Like, if you've seen a coming-of-age film, like A Summer Where Somebody Falls in Love, or maybe they run into someone and it's like, oh, they're stooping someone else. You know, it's like it's kind of been done. It just occurred to me what this movie reminds me of. I haven't seen all of the movie, but the movie Inventing the Abbotts, that's another movie where it's like, oh, so-and-so is like falling for someone, but it can't be. And that's a kind of movie that's existed forever. Just the longing and wanting of like this pleasure and desire and realizing things about yourself that were maybe boxed up or you didn't know how to act on them. And I don't think that's a bad kind of movie at all. I just think here it could have been done just a little bit, you know, give me something more. Like I said with Armand, this is another movie. Yeah, you just find it on Canopy and whatever, it kind of exists. But I actually have a DVD copy of this. I got like in a Almost grab bag a long while ago. And back in the day when I worked at a video store, we had this on VHS and we got a screener before its actual release. And I remember watching part of this, but not all of it. I might have fallen asleep and then woken up and people were doing stuff and I was like, whoa, what is this? And I was just a teenager or whatever. So I never like went back and watched the movie because it just didn't appeal to me at all. But like, I think this one, yeah, it just kind of needs something because I think Diane Lane is doing a lot of the heavy work in this. Anna Paquin, who plays Allison, you know, she's good in this. Diane Lane is good in this. Viggo Mortensen is fine. Liev Schreiber is fine. But on some level, I think Liev Schreiber and Diane Lane like don't have the right chemistry. They just seem a little off together. And that maybe that's intentional to show that their dynamics together as a married couple with children are just not meant to be because Pearl's just discovering things about herself. Maybe that's the intent. I initially thought that like they were just so wrong as far as like their ages, and that's incorrect because they're actually pretty close in age. Maybe that's just my more so familiarity with Diane Lane playing older characters versus Liev Schreiber in so many movies in like the 90s that I just know him as like the dude who was like a supporting character who wasn't necessarily a father figure. So maybe that's that. I don't know. I just felt like this was a little off and wasn't quite successful, but I came close to rating this 3 stars just because for a movie like this, it doesn't necessarily do a bad job. It just doesn't do a great job. But I gave it 2.5 stars. It is Hoopla. It is Canopy available. Where else? Yeah, it's on Paramount Plus if you've got that. But I think only through select subscriptions with Roku and Prime Video. Yeah, if you haven't heard of this one, don't be surprised about it because I don't think this really got much of a theatrical release. I just recall this movie just being like a DVD release or VHS release in the late 90s, and I was like, what is this movie? How did this come about? I don't know. But yeah, A Walk on the Moon from 1999, directed by Tony Goldwyn. Yes, the actor Tony Goldwyn. He makes movies too. Yeah, it's not a disaster. No, I just wish it had a little bit more something to it because it feels a little expected, a little familiar. Yeah, this actually, I will say this could have been like a really good like double feature with Dirty Dancing because this isn't about music and dancing. But when I think about the structure of like going to a place for the summer and you have like a coming of age moment and it's just in that setting where that is available and happening to you because your real life is something so different. Yeah, it's very much a familiar kind of story. All right, that's the episode. Just a quickie one. Sorry, just The Ugly Stepsister is, I think, truly worth watching. But if you're intrigued by Armand and A Walk on the Moon, you know, give those a shot. Because, like, the 2.5 is, like, the, you know, maybe. Like, the maybe thing. Like, maybe you watch it on a rainy day and it hits the spot. But if, I don't know, if you're not, like, interested in it, just don't bother. Yeah, neither of those are bad movies. I just think they're could have been a little something more for me. Anyway, yeah, so next episode, like I said, Sinners, The Shrouds, Film Festival, the Independent Film Festival, Boston. Looking forward to going seeing some movies, some shorts. We'll talk all about it. Go to cinema5000.com. I am going to be doing a blog update on the film festival on there, and that's where you can read my full review of The Ugly Stepsister, though admittedly something I wrote over the weekend. Now that I've thought about the movie more, I could edit it a million ways, and I'm not going to do that. But yeah, so cinema5000.com, Cinema 5000 on Bluesky, Cinema 5000 podcast on YouTube, and if you want to send an email, send it to cinema5kpod@gmail.com. I will talk to you later about more movies. Yay. Okay, bye.